LeBron James is more than just a basketball icon. He is one of the most influential voices in modern sports activism. Over the course of his career, LeBron has used his platform to address a wide range of social issues, including racial inequality, police brutality, education reform, and more. His commitment to making a difference off the court has solidified his legacy as not only one of the greatest basketball players of all time, but also as a powerful advocate for change in society. LeBron's activism is not just about speaking out against injustice. It's about taking action and using his resources to create real, tangible change. His work has sparked conversations, influenced policies, and inspired a new generation of athletes to use their voices to advocate for a better world. LeBron's impact on social justice and activism is profound and enduring, and his legacy will be defined not just by his athletic achievements, but by the positive change he has brought to society. LeBron's early activism, the rise of a voice for change. LeBron's journey as an activist began early in his career. While he initially focused on his basketball career, he soon realized that his platform and visibility could be used for something greater. As he rose to prominence as one of the NBA's most dominant players, LeBron started using his influence to speak out on issues of racial injustice and inequality. He wasn't afraid to speak up about issues affecting the Black community, particularly those that were often overlooked or ignored by mainstream media. One of the key moments that marked the beginning of LeBron's activism was his response to the tragic killing of Trayvon Martin in 2012. LeBron and several of his Miami Heat teammates wore hoodies in support of Martin, a gesture that highlighted the issues of racial profiling and the tragic consequences of prejudice. This moment helped to establish LeBron as a leader who wasn't afraid to stand up for what he believed in, even if it meant stepping outside of the sports arena and confronting difficult social issues. This was just the beginning of LeBron's activism. He continued to speak out on social justice issues, making it clear that his platform would be used not only for promoting basketball, but also for advocating for positive change. The rise of LeBron as a social justice advocate. In 2014, LeBron's activism took another step forward with his vocal support for the hashtag Black Lives Matter movement in the wake of several high-profile incidents involving police violence against Black individuals. The deaths of Michael Brown, Eric Garner, and Tamir Rice, among others, deeply affected LeBron and sparked a national conversation about racial inequality and police brutality in America. LeBron was one of the most prominent athletes to publicly speak out against the unjust killings of Black Americans. He used his position to amplify the message of racial equality, police accountability, and the importance of standing up against systemic racism. At the time, many athletes were hesitant to take a public stance on such polarizing issues, but LeBron was unafraid to speak out. He and other athletes, such as NBA stars like Chris Paul and Dwayne Wade, began using their voices to call for justice and demand action on behalf of the victims. LeBron's advocacy wasn't limited to just words. In 2016, when tensions were high following the deaths of Alton Sterling and Philando Castile, LeBron wore a "I Can't Breathe" t-shirt during warm-ups, a reference to the last words of Eric Garner, who was killed by a police officer in New York City. LeBron's decision to wear the shirt was a powerful symbol of his solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement and a statement against police brutality. In addition to his public statements, LeBron's actions spoke volumes. He became actively involved in initiatives aimed at improving the lives of marginalized communities. His philanthropy and activism focused on supporting organizations and movements that worked toward racial and social justice. By leveraging his fame and fortune, LeBron was able to bring attention to causes that had long been neglected. LeBron's role in political activism. LeBron's activism expanded into political issues, particularly during the 2020 presidential election. He recognized that voting was a powerful tool for change and sought to engage his fans and followers in the political process. In response to the voter suppression tactics and disenfranchisement faced by Black and marginalized communities, LeBron founded the More Than a Vote initiative in 2020. The initiative aimed to fight voter suppression, educate voters, and encourage people, especially in communities of color, to vote in local, state, and national elections. LeBron was vocal about his belief in the importance of voting and in addressing the systemic issues that prevented people from exercising their right to vote. He took his activism a step further by creating partnerships with organizations dedicated to promoting voter registration, providing information on polling locations, and ensuring that every vote counted. His efforts played a crucial role in getting out the vote in the 2020 election, especially in battleground states. LeBron also used his platform to speak out about the political climate in the United States, particularly with regard to issues such as racial inequality, healthcare, and economic justice. His advocacy work, including his outspoken opposition to former President Donald Trump's rhetoric and policies, further cemented his role as a powerful political voice. LeBron's willingness to use his platform to influence political change is a testament to his belief in the power of athletes to create social impact. He has consistently used his position to fight for justice, equality, and the protection of civil rights, even when doing so came with significant personal risk and backlash. LeBron's commitment to education. The LeBron James Family Foundation. In addition to his work in social justice, LeBron has made significant contributions to education reform. He recognizes that education is one of the most powerful tools for creating long-term change and breaking the cycle of poverty and systemic inequality. Through his LeBron James Family Foundation, he has made it his mission to provide opportunities for children in underserved communities, particularly in his hometown of Akron, Ohio. One of LeBron's most notable educational initiatives is the opening of the I Promise School in 2018, a public school that serves at-risk children in Akron. The school provides free tuition, free uniforms, free transportation, and even free meals for students. In addition, LeBron and his foundation provide college scholarships to the children who graduate from the school, giving them the opportunity to pursue higher education without the financial burden that often prevents disadvantaged students from attending college. The I Promise School is not just about academic excellence. It's about providing a holistic support system to help students succeed in life. The school emphasizes mentorship, emotional support, and life skills development, with LeBron serving as an active role model for students. By investing in education, LeBron is creating a pathway for future leaders and helping to close the opportunity gap for disadvantaged youth. He has used his platform to advocate for increased funding for public schools, better resources for teachers, and more opportunities for students in low-income communities. He understands that education is the foundation for breaking down the barriers that perpetuate racial inequality and poverty, and he continues to work toward making education more accessible to all. The impact of LeBron's activism. LeBron's activism has made a significant impact both in the world of sports and in society at large. He has used his voice, platform, and influence to bring attention to some of the most pressing issues facing the world today. His activism has inspired other athletes to speak out on social issues, creating a ripple effect throughout the sports world. LeBron's activism has also led to tangible change. His efforts in promoting voter engagement helped to increase turnout among marginalized communities, particularly in the 2020 election. His philanthropic work has provided educational opportunities to countless students and has raised awareness about the importance of investing in communities that have long been ignored by policymakers. Moreover, LeBron's stance on social justice has brought attention to the need for systemic change. He has called for police reform, racial justice, and economic equality, using his influence to advocate for policies that benefit communities of color and other marginalized groups. Through his actions, LeBron has demonstrated that athletes can be powerful agents of social change, and his activism has paved the way for future generations of athletes to use their platforms for positive impact. LeBron James' impact on social justice and activism is immeasurable. He has used his platform as one of the greatest basketball players in history to fight for racial equality, advocate for education reform, and promote political engagement. LeBron's activism goes beyond speeches and social media posts. It is grounded in real, actionable change. Whether through his work with the More Than a Vote initiative or his investment in education through the I Promise School, LeBron has demonstrated that athletes have a responsibility to use their influence for the greater good. LeBron James is not just a basketball player. He is a trailblazer, a philanthropist, and a powerful force for change in society. His legacy will be defined not only by his achievements on the court, but by his tireless commitment to making the world a better place.